any request for mentorship, we actually added a mentor buddy, and these buddies will be forever buddies for you for your Flutter learning journey. I saw a lot of interaction, and I think I also saw within our feedback form this time that people are talking to the buddies are spending amazing time with the mentees to help them to even sometimes set up their machines and get everything ready. Quick recap pack to for the sessions that we had, like UI, responsive design, refactoring, amazing session from Vadim and Alicia, code generation and API from Shri. We talked a lot about Firebase, and I think last session was basically where we wrapped up, which means today also we have a session from someone. Yes, we have a session from Pooja, and then a couple of conversations with Majid and Nilay. So Pooja, over to you. Do you want to share some thoughts today?
I have more than just few thoughts.
Few thoughts, okay. Yeah. So Pooja is the developer from at Flutterflow, and I will let her share her screen or even just can talk.
So I'm gonna share my screen. I hope you can see. All right.
Not
hello,
yet,
everyone.
Pooja. Your screen is not shared yet. I think, Sumit, have you stopped sharing your screen so that she can share?
For me, it's green. It's showing that I'm screen sharing. I can stop and do it again, though.
Yeah.
It is still Sumi's screen.
Sumit, we are still seeing your screen, actually.
It shows that my screen is being shared. So I don't know if it's like...
Yeah, I tried to get out. Let's see if that works again. Can you try again? Yes.
Are you able to see? Yes. Okay, awesome. All right, then. Hello, everyone. Really glad to be here. I think third time, I guess. So yeah, I mean, like third time mentor for the finale, and just talking about like hiring and like how you can stand out. I've tried to do that in my own. I've tried to help certain like people who wanted to like get into great companies. I want to still do more of this later in the future, but like for now, this is just a 30-minute talk or 20-minute talk for you to to inspire you all how you can stand out in the hiring market, because it's growing and growing every day. So first of all, I have been in Flutter for like 5 years now, like since 2018. I've been as a developer advocate in Flutterflow for a year now. And yeah, I've been a GDE for 4 years and just been talking about Flutter. So have a little bit of knowledge. But yeah, I'm just going to help and share that with you. So first of all, congrats on all the progress that you have had on these 4 weeks. So that's super great. And seeing all the great sessions, I'm sure like I don't think you even need any of the tips from me, because you probably have amazing projects done during this entire 4 weeks. So yeah, but congrats. Now let me tell you how the agenda is going to be for this session. We are going to be talking about 3 particular roles and how you can stand out in those roles, which is one is internships, Flutter internships, Flutter junior roles, or Flutter senior or mid-senior roles kind of thing. Before that, I want to know, do we have anyone who's like applying for internships? Then I will just skip through it maybe. Is there anyone who's applying for internships here? You can just let me know in the chat. All right. I mean, are you? It's okay. So if you're applying for internships on junior, senior, I will hopefully try to like tell you what are the things that usually goes into a certain role and how you can stand out if you're applying for it. As an intern, I think I'm just gonna skip through it anyway, but I have seen people who have applied for an engineer role and without any knowledge of OOPS as well. And let me tell you that we are applying as a Flutter or as a developer rather than a Flutter developer, which is like if you are applying to an engineering role, then definitely I think it makes sense that to know the engineering concepts, which is like OOPS, which is I have seen people who did not even know, classes and objects. And I would say that's the ABC. So like, just it would be great if people know about it before they start applying. I think that is like the prerequisite. I feel so. It is okay if some people are not starting with Dart as their OOP language, because like a lot of people might start with C++, Java, whatever you're interested in. So it's completely fine. But I think if this is your like first job or something like that, like it's fine if you are coming from a different language in a way. But if you are applying to a smaller company, I would say they don't have the time to teach you Dart. So in that case, maybe knowing Dart will elevate your chances. It's completely fine if you're doing Java first and then Dart, or just Dart as well, because Dart is a great language for OOPS as well. So it's completely fine. In my experience, I was coming from C++ and Java, but I studied computer science, so it probably makes sense to come from there. But a lot of people may not be coming from a degree, right? So in that case, Dart is an absolutely amazing language to start with. But yeah, just know that certain companies, MNCs and all that may have their training programs, but not like smaller startups or like, mid or like startups in a whole. I don't think I've ever been in a startup where I had like they gave me time to learn anything like before I started my job. Like I had to like start on day one, like let's do it. So definitely before you apply, having that basic knowledge is great. So yeah, I would just say that definitely apply once you have got these concepts straight. And of course, you probably already know this. You guys are like smart enough, but classes and object inheritance, these are kind of the concepts that's there in OOPS. So like, just brush up on them. And of course, if you're applying as an internship, that makes sense that if it's a Flutter internship role, you will be building applications with Flutter, and having that knowledge gives you a head start, of course. And to start with, I think translating designs into code is a great exercise for you to start with, which is like just rebuild, reclone whatever applications that you love and just build it with Flutter, even if you're not adding a lot of logic in the beginning. So definitely like translate your favorite applications into Flutter code, and see how much knowledge you're getting just from that. I know some people just do not like design that much, so for them this might be a little annoying to do, and some people just love logic stuff and kind of thing. But there are exercises for that as well. So it depends what your like the point, like what makes you better or what makes you stand out. It's completely fine. It does not have to be like you're amazing in animations and stuff like that. Some people stand out because of that. Some people stand out because of their amazing knowledge of like sequels and stuff like that, and how they work with problem solving and stuff like that. So of course, like GitHub is your resume, is what I can tell you. You will probably have a resume for companies, but GitHub is your biggest resume, I think. Some companies may not check, beyond your resume, and they may not check your GitHub, which is like sad. But make sure that you definitely have a very attractive GitHub with amazing public repositories. When I talked about translating designs into code, I obviously also want to emphasize on the fact that how important responsiveness is. So basically, when you're building for Flutter, you're building for multiple platforms. And if you can showcase that you're not just designing for a single mobile platform, but you can design for like responsive platforms, like different like web or desktop or like iPad and stuff like that, and you can showcase that in your GitHub, you get a single like get a bit of a standing out. So if design is something that you want to focus on, Of course, if you don't want to focus more on like the design part, maybe this is something that you can skip. And of course, Git commands and something is something that you definitely have to know. Even if you're using GitHub, you will have to know all this. So that's about like the internships, what usually goes into it. But now I'm going to just talk about like the tips that how you can stand out. I think I don't know if anyone is in college. I don't think so. So usually when you are in college, we have a lot of time. Or if you are even like taking a gap year, let's just take that. Like, let's just forget college people, but like, if you're taking a gap year of sorts, like where you're not working currently, you have a lot of time to build on your projects. And I think participating in a lot of challenges and hackathons gives you a kind of a push of working in multiple projects, right? So like I think that's what you should try, like working building multiple projects. And even if you're building side projects, I feel like this is my favorite advice to give, is that build something that you will use every day. Because if you're building I don't know, a hospital management application. I don't know what hospitals you're managing, but I don't think you will be using it beyond a certain point. So build something that you will be using every day, because you will figure out problems with your application. You will want to change, update the features of your application because it's buggy, it's having, issues, and it's slow and stuff like that. So that way, one, you will want to keep on adding more features because you realize that it's missing XYZ. Second, you will be wanting to implement better architecture because you realize that you're not able to like either add more features because of how the way you've architected your application. So there were a lot of things you'll be forced to do just because you use it every day. So that's how your side project should be. And it's a very good, GitHub project to showcase, because there is some complex features as well, because you figured out that it needs XYZ. Yeah, and if you are in college, then you build applications for your college clubs. But yeah, I don't think anyone is here in college. Then comes in, like, I have seen a lot of people who are learning Flutter or learning any mobile technology, that they start building a lot of projects and they never finish any of them. And then it's like your GitHub is like filled with projects which is just like tutorial like, and they don't like give enough like standing out, because like I think 5 other people also had that project in GitHub, right? So I think it's very important that if you are like doing projects for your GitHub, it has to be, maybe even if you're doing 2 or 3 or like one, then it has to be like a great project with great features and not a to-do app and stuff like that. Like I mentioned that I have started hating to-do apps when I see it in resumes, because everyone is doing it. It's great for learning, but not so great for showcasing, unless you're building the next, Jira or next, like Linear or stuff like that. I think then it's great if you're adding all these complex features. But if it's just simple CRUD application for do not showcase that. Hide it. It's great for your learning, but just hide it, GitHub. Um, and of course, if this is your first Flutter job, I think you probably would like start with APIs and like the CRUD logic with APIs in a way. But if you want to stand out, I think start being curious about other features, like, oh, how do I implement OAuth? How can I work with time zones and like logic around time zones? And like, how can I build forms and like maybe like multiple form pages, or like how can I implement upload download logic kind of thing? Just be curious in a way that like you want to add all these features, and that will be the key for you to learn Flutter, because or like be better in Flutter. Because I keep hearing people saying that what is the roadmap for learning Flutter, but I don't think there is I mean there is a roadmap, yes, but I think the biggest roadmap is your application, or like what you're working on. Are you able to build an application from head to toe? Then Flutter, then how to work with technologies in a way. If you're not able to add a simple logic, then you basically need to like figure out how to learn that logic or how to learn that concept. So yeah, that curiosity is the key to learning any technology. So if you have done that, you are ready for your first job. And also, if you have the time, then this is for the early career. And basically, what happens in an early career role. So mostly, obviously, you will dig deeper into like concepts like how you can work with, how you understand futures and streams, and how do you understand mixins and generics or exception handling and stuff like that. So you get into much deeper into like Dart. So definitely knowing that is very important. And then comes like you will be working with Firebase, and you already did that Firebase last week. So definitely that is something that will be involved. And very important is that if it's a mobile application, caching is the key. You will be wanting to work with caching. So definitely that's something that should be, something that you need to learn. And overview of native languages. Now, how many of you have learned any like Android or iOS? Or like you have a question that do I really need to learn any native languages if I'm doing Flutter? Do you like I see someone nodding. Is that like yes, you need to learn, or are you saying that this is my question?
It's better to know as much as possible.
That's basically life lesson. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's also a big, gap in the Flutter new developers who are coming in, that they think once they know Flutter, they don't have to know about the underlying platforms that they are building on, which is not going to take you very far, because you will have to learn, if you are building an Android application with Flutter, you will have to know about what's happening under the hood. And a lot of times you will also need to build native channels, and that will be using Kotlin or using Swift and stuff like that. You may not be the person doing all of it. And then the question also comes in that, okay, fine, I need to learn, but which language should I learn in that case? And now the answer is that it depends. What I've usually seen is that you need to study what is the user market in your region. In India, where I am from, it's most people are like Android developers. So most companies will be building Android applications. So even if they're using Flutter, they might be like worrying or catering more to the Android audience. So when they need a Flutter with Android developer role, like they might need like a Flutter with Android developer role, just because there might be a lot of native channels that is involved. But when you go to US market, it might be like more iOS developers, right? But then the same thing you might have to see like, okay, so in India, there is a scarcity of iOS developers. So there will be more money in finding an iOS developer with Flutter experience than an Android with Flutter experience, right? So you need to do your own research and stuff like that and see what do you want to like run towards, or maybe if you have like just a liking towards a particular platform. So decide that. And then of course, for an early career role, if it's your first job, you will have to know state management. That is going to be your basic of your architecture. So but do not marry a state management technique. I feel like there are people who just marry one technique, and they're like, everything has to be done in block, everything has to be done in riverpod. And that's like, it's just too much affinity towards a technique. It can change. And I think Majid also has a very good video on like, or a talk on like how you can decide what state management fits your code base. So I think definitely check that out. But that's the thing, like every different problem of your, like you might have a different kind of a application and different kind of problems in your application, and X state management might work better than Y kind of thing. So I think that's a discussion you should probably be having with your team, when you join already, and they will have a discussion on what architecture and what state management they will be using. So also do not over engineer just because there's a fancy package. Like it's funny when like there's like a 2-page application and there's like, block is being used and like qubit is being used. I'm like, I mean, it's a 2-page application. Just keep it simple, silly. So definitely, I think just because it's like, the noise, don't have to like just, use it because there is some noise in the community. And of course, be open to using newer techniques because your next company may not be using your favorite technique. And I've seen that people have declined job roles because they're not using block, they're not using robot. Like if you have that much like openness and okay, cool, it's fine with us in a way, but like I feel like you should be open in a way. Uh, so tips to stand out. I think very important is like when you are learning Flutter or like you're just getting into your first technical job kind of, I think problem solving is very, very important. And it's great to build UI with Flutter, but when you're talking about problem solving, UI should completely be out of your discussion in a way. So work on like paper problem solving or dartpad, like just work on the logic when you have a problem that, oh, there are 100 users and how to filter them into xyz blah blah. Just work on the problem and then your problem solving will be better, and just completely forget about UI. And that also helps you like layer your UI out of your logic layer kind of thing. So like move your UI out of your logic layer so you can separate them both. And of course, this will be helpful in interviews as well, because you will be working most with problem solving for logic rather than anything around UI. A lot of interviews is going to be on problem solving. Then comes that you have done Firebase, you have done NoSQL in a way, but it will be great if you also learn about SQL as well. Like it's optional in a way, but it helps you stand out because it is a very basic concept in like computer science, which is like how to work with SQL queries. And most of the people is like backend works with it more than mobile devs, but if you are working with local SQL databases, you will be, running or like querying SQL. So basically having a bit of knowledge or like just like be curious about it, like what's exactly happening with it, how can I, query XYZ, I think will help you stand out, and hopefully you can showcase that in your portfolio as well. Then comes in like, as I said, that you should be knowing what's under the hood of the platforms that you're running on. So if you're running it on Android and iOS, there are different types of things that you need to know about, which is the app's life cycle in iOS might be different than an app life cycle of Android, and how iOS handles app permissions might be different. So that's why I said like when like even though it's so great that Flutter can run on like so many platforms, which also gives you more work. It gives you like more study to do because you will have to know the underlying platforms as well. Just an overview. You don't have to know like depth of it. Like I do not know depth of iOS at all, but I can Google well. So I know I can read it better as well. Like I just need to understand the concepts in a way that I can read a paragraph and like, okay, it's talking about XYZ. Then I think very, very important, I would say, is that understand the why when something is working, doesn't work, discarded and not supported. I will have a very good example to give you is that some people or like a lot of people in the community would say like, do not use set state. It's the worst thing ever. I'm like, why? What is the reason? Like, just ask this question. What is the reason why I should not use set state? Like, if it's just a very local state, why should I not use set state? I'm not using set state in the entire application, right? So having that question that why did you suggest me not to use set state? Like otherwise the Flutter framework will obviously would not have used that state as well. But I think you need to ask that, okay, I know the community is suggesting not to use set state, but they are probably suggesting for like a whole state management, that do not use that state for your whole state management. But if it's a small little local state in a 1-page application or some 2-page application, you don't have to like over engineer there as well. So you need to know why I should follow this. Like, I know a lot of people would say that don't use getx and all that kind of thing, but you need to know why. Like, just don't follow that because my favorite YouTuber said that don't use getx, I will not use getx. But you need to know why they suggest not to. Like, why is there so much of drama around it, right? So definitely, I think knowing the why is very important for your career completely, like your engineering career. So definitely do that. And then coming to the last part, which is senior roles. You will be, I'm hope like you will be surprised by the things that is mentioned there. That okay, starting with like, of course, there will be architecture stuff like um, how do you architect your application, or like, what is the folder design in a way, or like how the components and layers are constructed, or what is the interrelationships between components and layers, how the external sources of data interact with the internal data, how can you make your application more testable, and the entire this is decided by your architecture. So that's where you will be like the person that your juniors are going to be asking, like, what will be the architecture of this application. And again, that depends, it depends on like what your application is like. Then comes design patterns and design principles in a way. So like patterns would be like, reusable solutions to common software engineering problems. You must have used Singleton, I think, maybe. Like I have used Singleton before I knew what design pattern is. So like I think just there are other design patterns like factory pattern as well. Like just knowing more about it and being curious about like, what are the different reusable solutions or like what are the different design patterns that I can apply in my project. And of course, design principles like solid principles, dry, don't repeat yourself, and stuff like that is something that is like guidelines to write better components or systems, and stuff like that. So definitely being curious more about it. There are some great books around it as well. I cannot remember the name, but just go through that as a senior engineer. Then testing, of course, that your application, I think that's a byproduct of your architecture, that you will realize that once you want to start adding test cases, you might have to re-architect your application because it's not testable, or you cannot add test cases very easily. And interviewers love it if you know testing, but they usually do not even apply it in their own companies. Like, it's possible that you might tell that in an interview that, oh, I do testing, and they're like, I love it. But when you join the company, there's like not even a single test case. So it might happen, but it's just a very interview friendly thing. Sorry. Hmm. Yeah, and then comes in like how you can set up CI/CD, or like experience with deployment, because usually in backend you have DevOps, but in smaller startups, mobile engineers are doing the DevOps for mobile, like basically doing the deployment and stuff like that. So you as a senior engineer would be working with that. So knowing that is great. And my favorite is mentorships, because you will be doing a lot of mentoring, because people will be relying on your knowledge or advanced knowledge and stuff like that. So definitely as a senior engineer, you will be doing a lot of mentorships. And if you saw all the points, there was not a single Flutter mentioned. And that's how senior engineer life is, that it's not about the technology. As a senior engineer, you probably are going to be working how to get a better code base, like cleaner code and maintainable stuff, and like mentorships and stuff like that. And what is the technology is like secondary when you're a senior. So that I hope that was like something enlightening for you. And the last few tips that really works for you to stand out is like just knowing how, like, you will find like in Flutter right now having a lot of migrations, like from native to Flutter migrations, and every company have their own struggles and stuff like that. So it's very interesting to know them, and you will learn tons from just other companies' experiences. And lastly, meaningful open source contributions. Why I say meaningful is because it cannot be typos, it cannot be like single line changes. It has to be a meaningful change. And that, if you showcase, you will definitely stand out, because not a lot of us are doing open source contributions. It's still like not a very popular thing in among the masses, or like they just don't know how to start. So it will be a huge standing point in your resume or like portfolio if you do that. So that was it about how you can stand out, and a lot of tips. Hope that helps. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. And if any questions, I can take it if the organizers allow.
There maybe it's always enlightening for me. I was scribbling around to say, okay, I need to remember this design pattern and abstraction and everything else. So I always take stuff out of your tips all the time you share, Pooja. What we'll do is we'll do a question round just after continuing. Yeah, so we continue and then we come back because we may have everyone else in there. So I'll share my screen and then keep your questions in there. Yeah. If you don't have, bring it. Yep. So we come back to the presentation and then have another round. Okay, so that was Pooja. Enlightening like always. Good stuff. Top 10 tips. I think that's good. Like not 12, not 15, 10 is enough. Top 10 tips. So moving on to yeah. Really want to say thank you to all the mentors and all the speakers. So I really appreciate the time they gave to this dev camp, as always. I think I'll move this around. Sorry for that. Yeah. So thank you for your time. And also, I know, like, because myself, like, and when I'm doing this session, I have to prepare. And it's not just the hour you gave or a couple of hours you gave, the preparation time and everything else. So, and always have a word of our sponsor. So thank you to Code Magic and also Majid for helping us give out a couple of books during these things. And we still have the discount code if people want to avail the discount. And the important thing to know, and it actually comes back from what Pooja said, it's about Flutter engineering. So do more than just beginning. Yeah. So you can read this book about engineering, yeah, and engineering tricks. So thank you for Majid, and we'll come back to you, Majid, also. So really want to, this time we added buddy mentors. So thank to these superstars who were in most of the calls, helping our mentees and also helping with the queries they had. There are others, but I think for me, I picked up a few of them because they were highlights. I saw the links they were sharing throughout the sessions, and
They are most active, I think, on the whole
very much
forum.
active.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, and I think that's the reason why we brought them in, and it was pretty much useful. So announcing the mentees who actually graduated. Again, I see what I like about this is I see the flags from all over the world. You guys actually finished assignments on time. You see the green dots there. Yes, some of them actually were in each and every session, spent multiple hours with us, finished assignments. So congratulations to all the mentees who cleared it. And also some of them are superstars, as always. They were in most of the sessions and also finished the assignment and also asking a lot of questions. So they made sure that this opportunity they had with the mentors actually were being used. Yeah. So amazing stuff. And you guys are superstars. And I think, and I hope, I know now that you have learned something out of this bootcamp. And then, so you guys will be handed off the certificate. Yeah, the certificate may look like this. We will come back to Anya. Before that, I just want to come back to our special guests for today, Nilay and Majid. Could be a simple discussion about what do you think about the community, or so handing off to Nilay and Majid.
Yes. Hi, everyone. All right. Nice to see you all, and thank you so much for organizing this, and thanks everyone for participating. So, I just want to say a few things about for your next steps. I think the reason I'm invited today is a little bit to get you excited about the communities, Flutters communities.
Yeah.
But if you ever participated at any Flutter events or any community things, you all know that how fun this community is, right? So I don't have to say anything about it. You just see it, you just feel it, right? So there are really amazing, really cool people in this community, and we are so lucky to have everyone. And I think the thing about this community is like we all became really good friends. So it's not just that we are professionally meeting each other, but now we are sharing about our lives with each other. We are spending time together and we are having fun together. And it's really nice to have. It's a great network to have, because when you have fun, it's like you're happy, and then it is one of the things that will make you successful. Also another thing, right? And then another thing is that I think Pooja gave great tips about how to be a how to make yourself a strong developer from technical standpoint, right? And they're really important. It was a great presentation. uh, Also, there is one thing to add to that. Also, it's important to uh, learn that how to be a like good coworker or good employee or good member of the community, right? At the end, we all work with other people, and it's really important to uh, make other people feel that, oh, like I would want to work with this person, right? Or I can rely on this person, I can trust this person. I think these are also really good attributes to think about thing. This is why participating in any of community activities, meetups, events are really important, because once you interact with more people, you understand more people, you learn how to get along with people more. You understand, you learn how to listen to other people, because sometimes you will be solving very difficult Flutter problems, and there might be really tense moments that you have to, oh my god, I don't know how to solve this, I don't even understand who wrote this code. Like there will be things like that, right? It's really important that in that moment to just like stay as human, and then like make everyone like feel good about it, so and also yourself. So these are also really important things. And participating in those meetups and conferences and activities, these things really help to find out to get along with other people, and also make great network. Also, having a good network will help you to find jobs too. In my life, I worked in 2 companies in total, and I got these jobs because of the networks I did in my life. And they are from the communities, they are from the meetups. So having a good network is important. But while creating this network, also you should be able to present your work and yourself very in a good way. You have to know how to promote your work. And what it means that when someone asks you what do you do, it's good that you should be able to share something. For example, your GitHub profile, right? If you maintain a good, clean GitHub profile, if you put your projects in that, then it's easy for other people to see, oh, like there's really high quality, good work here, or this person can do some stuff. Or you can build a personal website or blog post, share your things, so people see that what you do actually. So also you can use social media, you can create videos. These are nice to have, but you don't have to. But if you do it, more people will be aware of what you do. So these are the things I want to share today to get your next Flutter job. And of course, but first you have to learn Flutter, and those tips Pooja shared are great tips. You should follow those, and also try to participate in the communities, try to have fun with us. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share. I hope I'll see you in the next events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Neela.
Thank you
And
so
I
much,
think that's what it
Nilay.
is. This is the only community I've seen. I've been in the industry for 25 years, where there is so much inclusiveness and acceptance. So this community accepts a lot of people from both arms. And I think being like you, like I forgot to mention during my introduction for you, like you are the mother of dashes, no? So you are, you
So
are.
when you say that,
I
I
am
just
not.
want to show you something. I just want to show you something. Just a minute. So Neela, this is the one small dash we have created with the 3D printer for this Flutter Dev Cam.
Yeah, so the participant who have actually, or the mentees who have actually finished this course, just ping me, and we will be sending you not the real ones. No, these are the real ones, but we don't
Yeah.
have them. So we printed few for you guys, and it looks beautiful actually. It is a
Yeah.
baby dash.
Yeah,
Looks
baby dash,
beautiful.
and like a
Maybe
Roman
someone
help
can
us
actually.
to create a 3D model for that. So it's all the contribution from the community.
Yeah.
Chal.
So again, community was helping us. A Roman from the community said, you know what, guys, you can print something out like this. And then we have hand painted it.
Yeah.
So the people who actually finished, I'm gonna just quickly share the screen again, will actually receive one of those also. Yep. So going back uh, to all our dev campers. So you guys will be also receiving those dashes. Yep. So. And as you said, Nilay, really amazing community, and we really want to do so. Community is helping each other to grow the community. So thanks for your kind words. Uh, and I think I'll move on to Majid then. Majid?
Yes.
Uh, Thank you. I just want to, all the good things were mentioned already by Nilay, Pooja, you, everyone. So just want to congrats everyone who participated. So you already proved to yourself that you can do a great job. So then it doesn't need to end today on this final session. You can definitely continue doing it a great job afterwards too. So congrats to everyone, especially the organizers. You're doing this for a couple of years, and it's great seeing every year more and more people are joining. And also those who are superstar attending every session, as Somit said, that's a different level of dedication. So you are already on the right path. So please continue doing the same. Hard work always pays off. Believe on that. So that's definitely one day will come. Maybe tomorrow, maybe 1 month from now. So congrats.
Thank you, and thank you from the mentees if someone wants to join in. I'm gonna share a little bit more about some of the successor leading to what Majid said. We had Anya. I wanted to highlight something like the journey she actually had, and then she actually finished an app, shared a video of that. So Anya, you are still on the call. Maybe you can talk about
Yeah,
what's
she is
happening
here.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Annie. I'm from the north of Mexico. I joined this dev camp because my past background is not important. And what is important is what I'm going to do with this new path that I took. And I was trying to study like programming languages and frameworks, and it wasn't successful because I didn't have like an active support commitment by the communities that I found, and I don't know, it was different. So I started because my background, I start with with Python, and it wasn't successful. And at some point, I felt frustrated by the path by studying by myself. And on November, I took Flutter as my next challenge, Flutter and Dart. And I see on January, I see like in LinkedIn, I see that GDG London was asking for mentees and bodies for this dev camp. And I was happy because I see Renuka and Simon in the highlights. And I was like, because I know the community and it's so active, I was achieving that program. And at some point, I felt less frustrated because as soon as I start this dev camp, I get all the advices from Alicia, from Hashim, who is my mentor. And I feel less frustrated by the fact that I have an active commitment by the experts by helping me doing my code. It is my first experience with coding, and it's my first experience with some framework, my very first experience. I am not a developer, and I'm trying to be a developer. So for me, it was like this. Before this dev camp, I had a computer, and this computer sounds like a SpaceX trying to launch before. But after this dev camp, minus 1,000 lines of code, I don't have a SpaceX on my desktop because I have a cleaner code. I have a great guidance to how to go through the documentation, the Flora documentation. It is so great, and the community is so helpful. So that made the change. So I was like, for me, it was a great experience, and I made more to developing in Flutter and Dart than I was doing in a year in Python. So for me, it was a successful because I had an app, a simple app, but I don't know, that is my experience. I'm so happy. I'm so I don't feel frustrated anymore. I feel I can do an app. I feel I can work with backend. I feel like I need to study more fundamentals, but I know how, since I know where the things are, because after this dev camp and all the mentors advise it. So that's my experience.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the kind words. And I think this is the motivation that actually takes us to, the mentors, like Pooja, Majid, Simon, me, Vadim, Alicia, and every one of us actually, this is how it fills our heart, saying, someone is actually doing it. And again, when we kicked it off, we said the same thing, like, it's a lot of people want to do it, but the ones who got the certification are the ones who were committed to do it and spend time learning, and it was what you have done is amazing, and continue with the path. Yeah. So thanks a lot for your kind words, and let's move on to the next thing.
Sumit, before we continue, I just want to say something to Anya. So you say about a spaceship. So I think my computer, after running 2 emulator or running Flutter, it looks like a spaceship still. So I have like 2 exhausts from 2 sides of my computer, and it's just the fans is working like crazy. So don't worry, you get again back to the spaceship.
Getting back to a spaceship when you build more apps. Yeah, that's what you're saying, Majid. Yeah, so while you're talking, someone is building an app behind it. Okay. Cool. Renika, you want to say what's next, what's coming, or is there nothing? That's it? Is that all?
No. We
No?
have so many things like GDG London and Flutter London, like always very much busy to organize the next step, next thing, right, Simon? Like we are doing another event after this. Maybe Sumit, you can share the slide. And we have a Pooja here, so maybe Pooja can give some surprises to us as well. So let's see what's the new thing coming in our way. So, Sumit, could you please share your screen? So, presentation on your side.
Okay. Do you think the volume will come, Renika?
Sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. Volume will come or not. Maybe if you don't hear a volume. If
Sorry,
you
was I
don't
not
hear a
sharing before?
volume, then don't worry. I can share that video on the social. Definitely, you
Sure.
can see the background music. But yeah, we can share
So
the yes.
I was checking. Was I not sharing the screen before then?
No. So when you
Okay.
share the screen, Sumit, just tick mark that there is a one small checkbox to just tick mark that they can we can able to hear that sound as well.
So you guys didn't see this app which Anya built?
No, we
Oh
haven't
my
seen.
God, I'm sorry. I am sorry. So this is so let's just take a minute to watch
am
this video. So Anya built this, and I thought I was sharing this while Anya was talking, but unfortunately not. And I was like, well, you guys should be more wowed. So now I understand why you are not wowed. My fault. So this was an app she built. It's not like others have not. There's amazing apps. I just picked this up. There have been amazing apps that was built, and good work, everyone.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on. We'll cut it. Yeah, we'll edit it during our live
Yes.
session.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's next again, Renuka?
Yeah. Click on the next slide. So is it possible to you just like a reshare again, Sumit? Like that would be helpful.
So
Reshare.
did I stop share?
Stop sharing and then reshare with that tick mark on the left hand side corner.
Share screen
Yeah.
and
on the bottom left, it says share sound.
Yes.
share sound.
Sound. Yeah.
Okay. And before I do that,
Good. I have work on that. Sorry.
spend some time on it, so it has to be coming out. So, please restart your audio sharing, install, blah, blah, blah.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Maybe not. Share on social media. There you go.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's fine.
Or if you have the video, you can share it.
Okay.
No, it's
You guys hear me okay? Still, I'm audible,
yeah,
and
but
you guys
we
can see
can't
my screen. Yeah.
we can't see your video screen.
Studio. See studio.
Yeah, we see your studio.
So
Okay, this time.
Yeah.
One more last go. Here you go. Next. So the announcement is that we're going to kick off another Flutter Dev Camp. This time it's low code with Flutter Flow. And we are collaborating with Pooja more, so we'll see more of you, Pooja, now. And this will be kicking off on the day of IWD. So we are celebrating IWD with the community.
yeah,
It's a 4-week program again, starting 8th of March.
Yeah.
So if you are interested to continue your journey, please sign up again.
yeah,
We'll try to give preference to the community people first. But we will be also a bit choosy not to pick up a lot of people from one region. Yeah, because last time we saw that we had around 200 plus applicants. So not everyone can jump in. Yeah, so I'll be a bit choosy. But
and like
let
I
us
want
know.
to add one more thing, Sumit. Like this is a celebration of International Women's Day, but it is not restricted to the woman only. Everyone can join that. So that is because people are asking us about that all the time. So it's not only for women. Okay.
Yep.
Everyone can apply for this.
So for our community, another program, Renuka, I'm just tired already, but I'm excited to do this again. So
Yes.
really, really excited to see how this works. And with regards to Flutter Flow, I've heard so many companies or enterprises asking, people who knows this thing, and would be interesting to learn. So I'm also a learner, Pooja, now, so not too much pressure.
So Pooja, we really want to see that, like how we can build a production ready application with Flutter Flow. So like that is our challenge here, like how we can do this. So our mentees can also learn that, so they can start thinking of that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the idea. For 4 weeks, we'll be working with APIs, databases, problem solving, not just UI, but also like some, like I love drag and drop for UI because I hate doing UI myself. So drag and drop really, really works for me. But yeah, you will be doing drag and drop for logic, Firebase, APIs, and how you can build a completely production ready app with like low code, which means that you could still write Flutter code. But yeah, Johan is showing something, I don't know. But yeah, that's the idea for 4 weeks, for the next 4 weeks.
Yep. So jump in and thank you for today. So
Scan
I'm
from a
opening up
QR
for
code.
questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm opening up for questions now, and we can have discussion. Simon is here. If someone is brave enough to actually have a live coding
Maybe
session with
review.
Simon,
Is anybody like
review.
that much brave that who can share the code like a GitHub account and like a Simon can review the project? Like let's see, is anybody here to take that chance?
Just do some live coding like we've been doing all the time. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Happy to help. I will also say that in April, we'll be doing a Flutter London meetup. Details to be announced. So if you're in the area in April, I'm sure if you follow the social media, you'll get a notice basically. And I'll also mention that we're also arranging FlutterCon this year like we did last year in Berlin in July, 3rd to the 5th of July. There's also going to be another Flutter conference this year, another FlutterCon in another place to be
Oh,
announced.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Surprise.
announcements
So
now.
many surprises.
Yeah, so many surprises.
I know it.
You know the
Awesome.
New York probably, but you don't know the other one.
Yes.
Maybe we can create like a kind of game, like a guess which is the next place.
I think that's the assignment. Then there you go. That's another assignment. People say guess, and if you guess it, what are we gonna get, Simon and Pooja? Because both of you guys.
I'm guessing myself, so
Yeah.
I know exactly what I want. The 3D printed dash.
Oh,
I want that.
You want that?
I
Okay,
can submit
yeah.
assignments, whatever assignments you want, I'll submit it.
it's
Thank
so
you for
cute.
saying.
Like I feel like it's so cute.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so if,
I have on the all sizes, like the bigger one, the smaller one, and I just need that one to complete the entire family.
Oh, nice.
I've been doing the soft toy, then I have a paper dash, which we did. So a paper
Last
version,
time, yeah.
now a plastic version. So kind of going from every metal or every, what do you say, every
Sustainability is not.
Cool. So open for question. If someone is brave enough, you can actually turn on the mic. If not, then use the Q&A or the normal chat
Yeah.
window.
I just want to ask, like, Majid, you are here. Like, could you just give us like a brief about your book? Like, because we have shared the book with all the mentees, but if you can say some words about your book, how they can use that book and like how it that help them basically.
Sure. Maybe briefly, because Simon is impatiently waiting to start live coding. The book actually requires you to know a little bit about at least the beginner level of Flutter. So you must have already done something, which I think now is a perfect, let's say, scenario for you because you all have been in this program and you already know the basic of Flutter. You know how to build app, you know about, the basic stuff. So it has 25 chapters in 5 parts. Each part is following one theme. Like, for example, the first part is mostly about engineering part, the foundation about Flutter, how things work, a lot in details, things that you don't really necessarily need to know in the beginning. But if you want to become like a senior level in Flutter development, you need to know that, So chapter 1 is a bit basic, but chapter 2 is deep dive into the Flutter. Like I kind of broke down all the Flutter repository, the engine part, and just explored everything there and try to also visualize it as much as possible. There are lots of graphs and lots of handmade charts and flow charts just to help you to understand better the concept. So that goes to end of part 1, which is mostly about Flutter. We have actually a chapter Pooja mentioned about design pattern. So I try to bring up some design patterns, particularly that is used in Flutter already from the engine, from the code base, and also like where you can use it in your Flutter application to just give you some idea where to use what. And the chapter, part 2 is all about architecture from some foundation again, getting some idea about architecture in software development, and moving forward to reviewing some of the patterns and some of the architecture styles, like what does it mean exactly? And then moving to part 3, which is about, again, things that Pooja mentioned about CDCI, documentation, and things that you require to know for building an application. And last part is all about advanced concept in Flutter. Like we deep dive into shaders, for example, like how you can use shader. We try to even convert some of the shaders already in shader toys to Flutter. Yeah, you can see like how you can even convert such a things to Flutter. Also like going through the responsiveness and adaptive, and one important topic, of course, accessibility. A lot of details in accessibility, which when I shared it with Manuela, even I feel like Manuela is one of the expert in that topic because she's very into the accessibility. She was mentioning, oh, I didn't know about this one. So it's good. So I feel like you would probably learn a lot about accessibility and other things in that chapter. There is 1 or 2 chapters also which is not necessarily about Flutter, but it's good for especially those who started recently, like doing programming, like things about the paradigms in programming, like when we are talking about the different type of methodologies and things like that. What does it really mean, and how you can leverage that in your Flutter development. So the book, again, is not a basic book that you just read and it just tells you, oh, use this widget to get that UI. It's more about building your foundation as a software engineer, but of course, applying that to the Flutter framework when you are building, not necessarily a mobile app, in different, platforms. Doesn't matter which platform you choose. There are certain things that are common when you are building mobile software applications. That's about this. That's the first part of my journey of writing this book. The second book is gonna come out end of next month or March. That is about beyond Flutter. So above and beyond, that's what I call it. So it's things that is not really usual. I mean, you can do it with Flutter, but it's not a regular things that you probably do, every day. Maybe like building, let's say, there are some things that you can do, like gaming is part of it, or things like that, or performance or things like that. I added also to the second part, but things like, try, like I remember Simon had something like one of those small devices printing out from Flutter to those small, tiny, screens. Those kind of things that is not like a regular things to do every day, but you can do it with Flutter. So yeah, that's hopefully coming out. Maybe some of the mentors I reach out for review soon. Some of them already reviewed some chapters. like Pooja did testing, and Simon was part of the process from the beginning, at least next to me. Yes, I hope that if you get the book, you really enjoy. Don't worry. I received a couple of emails recently that people sent me a message and said, "Hey, we don't really understand what you're talking about." I mean, that's the benefit of the book. You don't necessarily need to understand. You read the book because you don't know a topic that you want to learn, right? So if you don't understand, don't worry about it. Just read once, move on, and come back again, maybe a fresh eye, and again read it. You need to understand the topic. So we did the same. I bet Simon did the same, Pooja did the same, Sumit did this. We did the same. Like at some point a couple of years ago, we didn't know, but then a couple of years later, then it ticked, oh, I understand now. What does it mean? So it's absolutely fine if you don't understand. Also, it's very important that you know stuff that you don't know. That's also part of the things that I mentioned in the book. This mindset of architectures that always said you need to know stuff that you don't know. It's a great thing that you need to grow in yourself as a good software engineer. The more you know you don't know, the better. That's end of my presentation.
Thank
Back
you
to
so
you.
much. Thank
No,
you so much,
thank you.
Majid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, really useful. That's why I think I keep on telling people it's not Flutter developer or cookbook. It's an engineering book, and it actually also takes you to engineering. Super. What else should we? So if there's not many questions, again, congratulations, you guys. For everything else, you can join us. And before I say thank you, your certificates are ready. So you could download those certificates if you don't have the list. We spent a good enough time this morning to actually, create all these fancy certificates for you.
Yeah.
And we also have certificates for our mentors. So
Yeah.
you guys
We
can
are
even.
uploading more as well. Like we have uploaded some of the mentors, but we are uploading more. So if your certificate is not there, please just tell us that we can create and give it to you. So, right, Sumit,
Thank
like
you
we
for
have
your.
spent whole afternoon to do all this stuff, to arrange all this stuff together.
So yeah, thank you for your support, mentors, and I think it was fun working with you guys, mentees.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any questions, we can give it a wrap today and then talk on Slack.
Or it's like a Simon, do you have a time and do you want to continue to review anyone? Is anybody
Well,
interested
do
to?
that. Happy to also just do a live coding session like we've done in the past. If no one's got anything specific they want to be reviewed, happy to answer Flutter questions. We can take a quick break and then, yeah, let people refresh.
Is
I
anybody?
went shopping. It's 1 a.m. here.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much, Pooja. It's a very, very late for you.
yeah, no
You look
problem at
so
all.
fresh. You are still look so fresh.
It's the light.
Thank you
Yeah.
Thank you so
for
much.
for,
Thank
for
you.
this.
I'll go
Today.
sleep now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you for doing
Thanks.
it. Bye-bye.
Sleep tight, Pooja.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm gonna leave too as well because I'm not brave to watch Simon live coding. So no, I'm just joking.
Thank you so much, Majid, for coming and giving your.
Congrats to everyone again, and
Thank you.
thank you for having this session. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So, should we take 5 and then people get a drink and some water or something? And
Yeah. So, Miss, should we stop the live streaming or what? Like then we keep recording on, or do you want that? Like I can keep the things on as well.
I think
What
let's
do-
just stop it. If you want, you can start it again. But yeah, we stop it
Yeah.
for now.
Okay. So I will stop the live streaming.